Hi there, it's Llarold, and this is our BFA Blood DK class guide. If you'd like more info on how all the tanks stack up against each other, check out our video comparing all the tanks. It's still up to date and accurate as of this point. On that note, if Blizzard makes changes to DKs, we'll be ready, so look out for updates either in the comments section here if the changes are small, or if the changes are big, we'll be making entire new videos to cover them. Alright, let's get to it, and let's start with talents. This is the standard talent build that Blood DKs will be using for 90% of BFA content, but here are a few talents that might switch around a bit. In the first row, Heartbreaker's extra runic power is pretty nice when AoE tanking, such as in dungeons. In the fourth tier, Rune Tap is an excellent little on-demand defensive cooldown if you need it. And in the final tier, Purgatory can be a pretty strong defensive tool against really dangerous bosses and raids. Now here's the Blood DK ability priority for BFA. The stat priority for Blood DKs is pretty straightforward. One important note, Strength is a lot more powerful in BFA than it was during Legion, and item level upgrades are usually worth wearing even if the secondary stats aren't quite as good. Now let's move on to Azurite Traits, and it's important to note that while the effects in these tooltips are accurate, the tuning is not. That being said, they've been tested pretty exhaustively. Bones of the Damned is the best defensive trait for Blood DKs. It has a small effect on your rotation as well, since you'll want to cast Marrow Rend when you have 6 or fewer charges of Bone Shield, rather than at 7. That's about it though, it's just a solid defensive trait. Very simple, but very good. Eternal Rune Weapon is the best offensive trait. It grants you up to 5 extra seconds of duration on Dancing Rune Weapon, which is pretty amazing. Because that duration increase doesn't scale with multiple ranks, it is a 1-point wonder, but it's still a really nice trait. Those two traits are the ones you'll want to wear if you have the choice. And if you're specifically targeting bosses, the Unbound Abomination and the Underrot drops a piece of gear with each trait. So go after him. Next up is Marrow Blood, which is pretty weak by comparison. It is versatile and will increase the healing of literally every death strike you cast, but it's still not great. For the next 3 traits, you should probably run the all-spec trait on that piece of gear instead of these traits if you wind up getting gear with them. That being said, I'll mention them just for the sake of completion. Bonespike Graveyard is lame. It scales with AoE, but it's still really weak. Deep Cuts makes Heartstrike cause your Blood Plague to do more damage on the primary target. Confused? Same. It's complicated and undertuned, which is just not a good combo. Embrace of the Darkfallen is last, and it's the worst. Gaining Leech after a major healing intake cooldown ends is not good. Leech in general is just way worse for tanks in BFA than it was during Legion, and this trait is a bad buff for a good cooldown. It's like if you had a slice of perfectly buttered toast and it's great. Then I come along and try to slather on a pile of store-brand vegetable oil spread. The toast was already perfect, it doesn't need the extra garbage on top of it. Keep the store-brand vegetable oil spread off of your already buttered toast, and keep away from Embrace of the Darkfallen. Well, I think that about covers it. If you have any questions about Blood DK, ask away. We are super excited for BFA, and we hope you are too. Stay tuned for more great BFA content, and as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.